Good morning, everyone. And really, today I'm so honored to have Dr. Terry Kottman with us. She's the founder of Adlerian Play. And how many books author, Terry?
I've written about 13 books, actually, or co-written them.
13 books. Wow. Yes, our big guest. So I really appreciate Terry's support. And today, so let's give Terry a big applause first. And today, I really want to use these opportunities to invite Terry to share with us in this situation like China, in the kids are still stay at home, and now in the world, I think more and more countries set the rules of quantity, and we have so many Chinese not only in China and also in the world. So I think if you can introduce us some like a game or play that parents can play with the kids and also share with us what's the key of playing with kids, that will be fantastic. Yeah. So now I'll give the time to Terry. Yeah.
Okay, so I think one of the things I would talk about is some kind of basic guidelines for playing with your children. One of those guidelines would be to be sure when you invite your child to play that your child has a choice of whether to play or not play. Second guideline would be to make sure that your child would be interested in the things that you suggest. So if you have a child who likes to do art, then doing art would be a good idea. If you have a child who likes to pretend, then pretending would be a good idea. If you have a child who likes to do active kind of play, then it's helpful to do active kind of play. So you need to have paid enough attention to your child to know what your child likes. If you've got a future architect, your child might want to build with you. If you have a future book author, then your child might want to read or make up stories with you. If your child might someday want to be a doctor, then playing doctor is always a good thing to do. So you want to tailor what you're going to do with your child based on what your child's interests are and what they like to do, because you want the play to be fun. That's the whole purpose of playing. And the reason why we play with kids is because we want to build the relationship. Your child is going to be much more likely to listen to you when you want to do things like have them do their homework or obey you if you have a good relationship and your child feels understood by you and has already done some things with you that have been fun and exciting and interesting to your child. Your child is going to be much more likely to want to be cooperative.
So Terry, I really want to ask you a question as a parent. When I see my kids, everything in my mind is about the question, have you finished your homework? Have you finished your homework? Why you don't do your homework? Why you are still playing? But my kids, what in their minds, mommy, play with me, play with me. I want to show you this. I want to play with you that. So it's really difficult. How to deal with that situation.
Well, what I will tell you is that children's natural language is play, and that's how kids communicate. And so part of it is they want you to care about things that they're interested in, and quite frankly, they are not interested in their homework most of the time. So I do know that Chinese parents and parents in lots of Asian countries are very homework oriented, are very work oriented. And that's just you nagging your kid about doing work, probably isn't going to particularly help, and probably isn't going to encourage your kid to give up the idea of playing, because your kid's natural language is play. Your children want to play and want you to participate in that playing. I would suggest that the more you are willing to play with your kids, then the more they're going to be willing to do what you want, which is their homework. So it's in some ways it's a reciprocal kind of thing. You have some things you want them to do. They have some things they want you to do. And in some ways, I think the more likely you are to be willing to play with them, then the more likely they are to be willing to work on their homework. It has to be a kind of a give and take kind of thing, especially for younger children. Older children, that's not as important, because older children, like teenagers, their natural language isn't play. But younger children, before they're teenagers, that's their natural language. And play is super important to them. They like it. And the more you have a good relationship with your child, the more likely your child is to do what you want them to do. It's one of the reasons why we developed the Adlerian Play Parenting program, because what we wanted to suggest to parents is that the more fun as a family you have, and the closer relationship you have with your child, the more likely it is that your child is going to be willing to be cooperative and to do a lot of the things you want them to do, aka homework.
Yeah, and okay, based on my Chinese parent logic, then I'm started to thinking about, oh, so should I create more play about homework, or more more game related to the academic, like mathematic game, Chinese language game to expand their words vocabulary, or English game? Yeah, so
Well, there are children who would be attracted by that if you would do it with them. So if you would play a math game with them, or you would play a Chinese language game with them, or an English language game, there are a lot of children who really would be attracted to that and would love that. The other thing to think about is that you can build your child's pre-academic and early academic skills with things like playing doctor and teaching children where somebody's heart is, or what they would listen to if they were listening to somebody's heart, or what they would be looking for if they were checking with somebody's ears, or those kinds of things, which are pre-career games, or building blocks, or using Legos to build, or learning how things fit together, like building machines and things like that, like constructing kind of play is actually all pre-career play. And you can teach kids physics. You can, like, by stacking things. You can teach children construction techniques by using like toilet paper rolls and
that's cute.
egg cartons to build things.
To build things. Oh.
So you can use things that are around your house to do some pre-career kinds of playing, which would maybe meet your needs to have the playing be something that was related to achievement and related to learning things that are academic, and your kid would have fun, and your kid would feel heard and understood and supported. You just have to be super creative if you want to do that. Something else that would be super helpful are things like, you can go online and get like hidden pictures, like pictures that have hidden pictures inside of them, or mazes or things like that, all of which are logic and visual acuity and paying attention to detail, all of which are academic precursors. So you can use some things that are traditionally just considered to be just play. You can use them to help build your child's skills that can translate into academic performance kinds of things, if you're willing to be creative.
So it's like a play also can be purposive.
Yes.
If we are creative enough.
Yes.
Or if we use the play to like direct or to build the characteristics or skills.
So for instance, you can take just a regular deck of cards, and I'm not very good at this, Shuli, so I'm going to tell you that. But you can, if you want to teach patience, which is always a good thing for a kid to learn.
Yeah.
You can teach them how to build a tower out of. Now, this works better if you have two people, so you could help your child do this. I used to do this with my son a lot when he was younger because he had trouble in school because he would get impatient and he would not keep on working on things. And so one of the things Jacob and I used to do, and Jacob was much better at it than I was, but basically.
So use cards to build things.
Yes, use cards to build things. Use cards to build towers. And that teaches you physics, it teaches you geometry, and it teaches you patience. And it teaches you cooperation, Rick says. Teaches you cooperation as well, which are very useful in academics, but also useful in future jobs.
Yeah.